R.I.P. Dolores O'Riordan, the Cranberries singer. O'Riordan? It's hard to know how to say it exactly. Hey, it's Prince of Queens. And just today, or maybe yesterday, the singer from the band The Cranberries ended up dying. The cause of death is, I think, unknown at this time or not disclosed, but it was very likely a suicide due to the fact that she suffered from both chronic pain and bipolar disorder, which is often linked to each other. She had back problems, and she was well known to. She had, I believe, drug problems, specifically with opiates, and she was likely self medicating because of her chronic pain. Now, I really liked her. I think that the Cranberries had a lot of really great songs, and in looking through the Wikipedia entry about them, I realized now, which I always kind of knew, that she actually wrote almost all of them. All of my favorite ones. There's the ones from the first album that people tend to know, which is Linger and Dreams were the first two big ones. And then there was the second album, which had Zombie on it. And my favorite songs from the second album were my favorite songs of theirs of all, which were Ode to My Family and Ridiculous Thoughts. So if you guys want to listen to some good music and think about another dead celebrity, Ode to My Family and Ridiculous Thoughts are what I would recommend from the band. They're really, really good songs. This is really sad to me because I didn't realize how young she was. She was only 46. And that means that she was an absolute baby when she came out with those songs. Like, those came out in the mid 90s or early 90s even. She was barely even 20. Maybe even, no, I mean, she was in her early 20s at least. She was really young when she was making that music. So she was outlandishly talented and brilliant. Like, she played guitar, she wrote those songs, and do you know what she wasn't? She wasn't a feminist, it doesn't seem like. She talked about abortion and how it is. She doesn't really approve of it. She doesn't think that women should get abortions because it actually wrecks young women or women at all. And she thinks that people should be aware of that. I don't know if she said that she doesn't think that women should get abortions, but she raised awareness for the notion that it's actually really hard on women. So she went under fire from feminists. It's funny, she wasn't a feminist. I don't think, it seems pretty clear that Oprah Winfrey isn't a feminist. It's almost as if every particularly strong and capable woman who actually really does stuff doesn't end up being a feminist. I wonder why. I don't know. Maybe they don't feel compelled to whine about how they're being oppressed because they're too busy doing stuff. I don't know. But, yeah, this is sad to me because she was actually legitimately really talented, and I spent many times listening to those albums, and I liked her, and she was, sometimes you, as somebody who makes the type of content that I do, I lose sight of my musical side. I forget that I spent a really long time primarily focused on music and not politics, and I made a lot of music and DJ'd and cared a lot about music. So when somebody like this dies, especially when it's somebody who's, like, I talk about feminism all the time, which people think about in relation to females, especially when it's a female who wasn't even really a feminist. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody can find an article where she defines as a feminist, maybe I'm wrong. But when I learn about this, it's like, oh, man. I don't want to say forgot about you, but like, I want to tell her. I want to have this message where it's like, hey, just so you know, it's not that I forgot about you and your music. It was great. I still love it. I've been rather preoccupied recently, but you were still awesome. And thank you for being awesome. That's all.